like ours. Spring would lie in summer showers, and my hair were winter flowers. And weeks went by but felt like hours. Seasons multiplying power that I found in winter flowers.
Before the start of the seminar, everyone is expected to observe the following reminders. First, proper decorum and etiquette must be maintained at all times throughout the duration of the session. Second, everyone is requested to keep their mic on mute to avoid unnecessary noises during the entire duration of the talk, unless if permitted to do so. Third, greetings and relevant comments are very welcome. However, kindly refrain from using offensive language as we embody the Husseinian character of respect. Fourth, questions will be entertained during the open forum, which will be done after the lecture proper. People tuning in our FB Live may type in their questions in the comment section, while Zoom participants may input their questions in the chat box or unmute their microphones. Kindly address questions or concerns that are related to the topic at hand with respect to everyone, most especially to the speaker. Lastly, after the seminar, everyone is requested to answer the post-evaluation prepared by the organizers for them to know your feedbacks and to verify your attendance. The link will be posted in our respective group chats and will be available only after the session. Thank you and God bless.
Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to tonight's seminar entitled Attractions Management in the Central Visayas region. We're all set to do everything it takes for you, our viewers, who we will assume are mostly tourism students, to be informed and educated in this topic. My name is Erichel Abiabi, and this is my partner, Eve Fernandez. And we are UMCs for this evening. Once again, welcome to the seminar.
Before we start the seminar, may I request everyone to please stand as we're about to begin the meeting with an invocation which will be led by Miss Nicole Grace Cordova. And please kindly remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem that will soon follow.
May hapit ko sa Watson.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Together, we say, the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father Almighty, we thank you for the opportunity of gathering us today. We ask for your guidance throughout this activity, that may all of our thoughts and actions would reflect your holy will, and that may we be able to understand and comprehend the relevance of today's topic, to be of use for a future profession. We pray in Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please wait as we are having some technical difficulties.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Thank you for that wonderful invocation, Ms. Cordova. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, hello. A pleasant evening to you all out there, whether you are at home or outside. We hope that they are staying safe from COVID pandemic. So don't forget to sanitize and observe social distancing.
We are gathered here today for another seminar topic that piqued our interest and curiosity. We mostly found ourselves asking, what will be the next step as we have witnessed and experienced the hard times of this pandemic? I would like to welcome you all to Miss Julia Ana Beres for an overview of our chosen topic for today's seminar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to participate in another round of seminar entitled Attractions Management in the Central Visayas region. As student enrolled in the Tourism Management program, it is imperative that we listen and educate ourselves on this matter. Later on, as we move up to another levels, we will encounter the subjects which will take us to the same matter. We will be talking about this evening, and that is attractions management. In the Philippines, there are hundreds of tourist attractions, each harboring millions of tourists every year and more the next year. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of tourists has dwindled. However, studying about how to manage these attractions, especially in the Central Visayas region, is a must for tourism students. Attractions such as the whale shark in Aslog, the chocolate hills in Sagbayan, Bohol, and the Magellan's Cross in the heart of Cebu City are all major attractions in the Central Visayas region. To be able how to study this attraction is being able to preserve our culture and our region's heritage. Another good reason for the viewers and ourselves to pay attention to the seminar, whether you are a tourism student or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very well put overview, Ms. Oberas. Before the presentation begins, allow us to introduce our guest speaker. Ms. Janica Swako will do the honors for us. Ms. Swako, take it away.
To our resource speaker, tourism professor, Mr. Kim Cantero, invited tourism students, classmates, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Please allow me to introduce to you our invited resource speaker for this webinar. She is a tourism officer of the Department of Tourism, Central Visayas, the lady who is an expert in discussing in the field of attractions management in Central Visayas region industry. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you Miss Glorice Glenn Tolittle Du. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you, Janica. May I request Mark to please allow me to do the screen sharing? Okay. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the participants, and of course, your professor is present right now, Mr. Cantero, who happens also to be my colleague in the OT, former colleague, and Miss Grace. Good afternoon. So, as mentioned, I will be um, discussing region. So I'll be imparting to you the things that we have to consider in developing and managing a certain attraction or site, or of course product. Okay, just to give you an overview, since most of you are first year and second year students, so I would just want also to remind you, although these are also taught inside your respective classrooms or probably part of your modules, tourism is basically a strategic sector for sustainable development. So I believe one of my colleague was also able to discuss what sustainable development is. And also it is a vehicle for poverty reduction, environmental conservation, and cultural heritage preservation. It is an engine to improve the quality of life of local communities by creating alternative livelihood and employment, which means that uh, we also take part in the generation of jobs or employment in the Philippines. So, what is DOT's mandate? DOT's mandate is basically shall be the primary planning, programming, coordinating, implementing, and regulatory government agency in the development and promotion of the tourism industry. So this is both domestic and international, and in coordination with our attached agencies. To name a few, we have the PCSSD, which is the Philippine Commission on Sports and Scuba Diving. We have the Nayon Filipino. We have the PRA, which is the Philippine Retirement Agency. We also have the Intramuros. at- And then we also have Duty Free. So, and Piazza, of course. So, and other government instrumentalities. So it shall instill in the Filipino the industry's fundamental importance in the generation of employment, investment, and foreign exchange. So I guess this has also been discussed inside your or as part of your module, the Republic Act 9593, or what is also known as the Tourism Act of 2009, create a favorable image of the Philippines within the international community, so thereby strengthening the country's attraction as a tourism destination and eventually paving the way for other benefits that may result from a positive global view of the country. So our vision in the department still remains, and it is still very clear that to make the Philippines a must experience and more fun destination in Asia and the rest of the world. So it is also our mission. Our mission is also still doable all despite the current situation that we are going through right now. So it is to develop and promote an environmentally and socially responsible tourism that delivers more widely distributed income and employment opportunities, which means that in tourism there are a lot of available jobs for the people. So that is actually the reason why right now also that due to this pandemic, a lot or one of the biggest sectors that are really affected with this pandemic are the tourism industry, our tourism stakeholders. So just to give you a grasp of the DOT and TDP of 2016 to 2022, although some of this perhaps will have a significant change due to especially its targets, due to again what we are facing right now. So basically, the National Tourism Development Plan, or the 2016 to 20 of 2020, 2016 to 2022, um, would tell us that in tourism, like what I've said, tourism is for the people, and of course, tourism is also for the people to get more jobs. I mean, to for us to generate more jobs for the people. So the RA 9593 under Section 36 provides for the formulation of this National Tourism Development Plan to address the evolving needs of our industry, especially in the tourism industry or hospitality industry, rather. So, just to give you also what are our tourism products in the Philippines. So, this is was categorized based on the analysis of tourism demand and trend. So, we have a total of 9 tourism tourism products available in the Philippines. So number one, we have actually the nature-based tourism. So it involves the nature creation, adventure, both the hard and the soft, the farm tourism. We also have farm tourism was recently added because previously we were able to identify only nine, and right now with the current trust of the department, we have identified farm tourism also as a tourism product in our country. So we also have the cultural tourism, and then of course the health and wellness and retirement. So we have the MICE tourism. So I think most of you knows about the meaning of the MICE. So meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions. So these are big conferences also. This involves also big conferences, incentives, and then education tourism. So we also have where it also includes ESL or English as second language, where we teach English lessons also to our or to markets or other countries who wish to learn English and who travels to our country just to learn English. And also other aspects could be other students probably with without the pandemic, you there are also several like educational tours happening um, right now. We also have cruise and nautical tourism. So we also have the sun and beach tourism. I think most of you would are into this type of product. Leisure and entertainment tourism. So and of course the diving and marine sports tourism. So the product segmentation mix, I would just like to show this one to you because this would show the most preferred or the most type of product that is being engaged by our tourists. So of course, number one is beach relaxation and nature, followed by diving, MICE, shopping and entertainment. We also have honeymooners, adventure, culture explorers, cruise, health and wellness, golf. So the numbers indicated here are the source markets. So it's not yet identified the expenditure per market or per tourist here. So the department's development programs. So these are the department's development programs. So number one, we have the infrastructure development. We also have the effective branding and marketing, the air routes development, environmental conservation and climate change mitigation. We have the skills development training, regulatory impact assessment, the international tourism cooperation, standards development and accreditation, the local government capacity building. But of course, overall, based on our topic, we will be focusing now to the product development. So what are the 5 A's for product development? I'd like to show you also what are our tourism products in the region. Knows what are the provinces that are located in Central Visayas region. So of course we have the ecotourism. So this actually correlates to the product portfolios that I have shown you earlier. So the Central Visayas region is naturally gifted with rich flora and fauna. Endemic species abound in the region, including the black shaman of Cebu, tarsier of Bohol. We also have Negros orientals, bleeding heart pigeon, and Siki horse bulbul. So most of these species mentioned are the type of birds that we have in Central Visayas. So Then being in the center of biodiversity in the country, the waters surrounding the region are rich in marine life, making Central Visayas as an ideal diving spot. So does anyone here who was able to experience already diving or bird watching? Anyone from our participants? Na ba? Or quiet lang? Anyway, to proceed. So among the top ecotourism sites in the region are Apo Island, Olango Island, Tarsier Sanctuary, Lake Balinsasayaw, Mount Bandilaan. We have Alcoy Forest, the Boho River, so Malapascua Island and Balikasag Island. So Apo Island, Lake Balinsasayaw, and Mount Bandilaan are all located in Negros Oriental, while Malapascua, Boho River, Alcoy, and Olango Island are located in Cebu, and the rest are located in Mount Bandilaan is, sorry, in Siquijor, and then Tertiary Sanctuary and the rest not mentioned are located in Bohol. So we also have faith tourism. So as you all know, Cebu is even known for its the biggest festival that we're in. We celebrate every third weekend, or is it third Saturday of January. So, as the cradle of Christianity in the Philippines, Cebu is very rich in Christian faith and traditions. So, these are also reflected in the nearby provinces of Bohol, Negros Oriental, and Siquijor. In fact, we are celebrating the 500 years of Christianity in the Philippines. So, most of the region's festivals are centered on thanksgiving to the patron saint, the Blessed Virgin, and the child Jesus. Centuries old churches are common throughout the region. I think if some of you were able to travel already, even the southern part of Cebu, so you will be able to see and witness these centuries old churches. So standing proud and tall as silent witnesses to the founding of a nation and a testament to Christian faith and devotion. So of course, it is not new to us, and we could not deny that Central Visayas region is really rich, and we have this kind of products available in our region, which is the sun and beach tourism. So as the only region in the Philippines where each province is bordered by a body of water, the Central Visayas region boasts long coastlines and white sand beaches. So we have a lot of white sand beaches actually in the region. So you can find it in all of the provinces found in Central Visayas region. That's from the urban getaway of Mactan Island to the quiet and tranquil environment of Siquijor. Each province offers an ideal escape for some fun under the sun. So does any one of you who were able to travel outside the Cebu province? So anyone from our participants who were able to visit the rest of the provinces in Central Visayas? How about si Vince? I think Vince is Vince, were you able to attend? Oh, I mean to visit other attractions in the region?
Not yet, miss. Only in Sibura.
Cebu, okay. How about the others? How about Angeline? Angeline Bornea? Ang dili daw mo tubag kay absent. Is Angeline around, or shall I call Christine Grace Miralles? Christine? Okay, not. How about Syra?
Hi, Miss. Good evening.
Who's talking?
Syra,
Ah,
Miss.
Syra. Yes, Syra.
Yes, Miss. I've been in the probably memorable that I've been is in the Camiguin, in
Mm-hmm.
the also in Bacolod. Either yeah.
Yeah, but how about within our region?
Oh yeah, within our region. So in like out from Cebu, Miss, no, right?
Yes, oo.
Bantayan, Miss.
Um, well, Bantayan is part of Cebu.
I out yeah. Yeah, Bohol. You mean like only around in Central Visayas, Miss, right?
Yes, oo. But the question now is are do you know what are the provinces within Central Visayas region?
Yes, Miss. Which is
Can you share it to us?
in like is it not included the Bohol, Miss? Um,
No, if you can just
the
share to everyone
Negros.
what are the provinces within Central Visayas region, because I think it's important since you are Cebu is a part of Central Visayas region, and where you are all located or where your school is located. So
Na-confuse ko, Miss. What is it the question, Miss? Like
what are the provinces within the Central Visayas region?
that I've been.
No, if you can just tell us what are the provinces within the Central Visayas region.
The Bohol, the Negros,
Negros.
Samar, and Panay. Is it the
Uh,
Leyte also?
no. Thank you. Sorry, you're using
Syra,
another
Miss.
account, no?
Syra,
Yeah.
Miss.
Thank you, Syra. Okay. Yeah. So, for the information also of everyone, for all the participants, Central Visayas, I was asking actually because I want everyone to know what are the provinces within Central Visayas. So I want to check if um the topic here is about Central Visayas. So it would be best that you also know what are the provinces within Central Visayas. So that includes actually Cebu, and we have Bohol, there are four. And the third is Negros Oriental. So because we have two Negros Oriental and Occidental. But in Region 7, part of it is the Negros Oriental. And of course, lastly, the Siquijor. Okay, thank you for your participation. And to proceed, sorry. So another product available in our region is, of course, diving. So, which its rich marine life and being in the center of biodiversity in the Philippines, the Central Visayas region boasts premier diving sites that are in every diver's bucket list. So, from the depths of Malapascua to the coral gardens of Apo Island, Central Visayas has something for every diver. So, in fact, this year the department has launched its first summer dive 7 summer festivals, which will be conducted in the top 5 famous dive sites in the region. So that actually includes Moalboal, Malapascua, Mactan, specifically also in Lapu-Lapu. We also have in Panglao, and lastly in Dawin, where the Apo Island is located. So as you can see, this is in the picture, it's a treasure shark where Malapascua is famous of. So a lot of divers are really eyeing to go to Malapascua to see these treasure sharks. So with what really happened nowadays with the current situation, of course, the good side of it is our nature, the environment, the marine life, and they were able to breathe, and they were able, of course, to relax somehow. So during our last visit in Malapascua, we were informed that there are more sites right now of treasure sharks being sighted in the area. So in fact, you can see around 5 to 10 so there are around 5 to 10 treasure sharks that you can find. So other things, of course, number one is dili gid mawala ang kaon, no? The culinary tourism. So of course, Cebu is very known for its lechon. Mao gini number one nga. In fact, if whenever we assist or we invite guests here in the region, a lot of people would makompleto ang ilahang visit sa Cebu without even trying the Cebu's lechon, or without even having at least one of their meals to eat somewhere with lechon, which is among the famous lechons available in the city. Are we have Ayers, Ubuchon, CNT. So more na akong nag-plug. Next is sorry. Hold on. Sorry, naghang lang akong yeah. Okay. So next is as mentioned, the recently identified part of the product portfolio is the farm tourism. As part of the tourism inclusive growth, farms around the region are being tapped as new tourism products. Through farm tourism, tourists get to experience the benefits of organically grown food, learn farming techniques, and enjoy unique tourism activities. So, in the region, some of the pilot areas for farm tourism are coffee farms in Dawin. So, that's in Negros Oriental. We have still coffee farms uh, located in Tuburan, Cebu, the strawberry plantations in Dalaget, rice farms in Carmen, Bohol, Bohol, and aquaculture farms in Bantayan, and of course, so on and so on. So we are also known for sports tourism. So what happened here? Okay. So so we're actually, if some of you are very familiar, in fact, most of the big events in terms of sports tourism, we have the Ironman being held in our country. And of course, we're also into the department, DOT Central Visayas region is also into helping promote the Filipino martial arts, which is arnis or the eskrima or kali. So which has its origin from the Spaniards. The most famous practitioner of this sport is, of course, Chieftain Lapu-Lapu. So that is also the reason why Lapu-Lapu City is very aggressive in promoting arnis or eskrima in their city. So you might be asking, why am I sharing all this to you? It will still all boil down to our topic for the product development. So for all of you, right now, most of the people, especially the millennials, are into really, people go to places and look for Instagrammable pictures or Instagrammable destinations or sites where they can visit and post and share to the public. So these are a few of the photos which we got from. So we have the maze, Toledo, which um, is someone from our participants from Toledo. Wala. Or have you been to this place already, Aiko? Naa ba? Is Aiko around? How about Alfechi?
Wala pa kaadtog Toledo, miss.
Wala pa. But you are familiar of this place.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So, okay. Wala pa kakadto, but you're familiar of this place. Okay. So, some of the attractions also are big up, Pete in Toledo. How about here? Um, how about Christine? Have you been to this place already? Wala. How about April? April Jean. How about Nicole Grace Cordova?
Yes, miss. Never been there, miss.
Have you been to Nakanhina ka?
Wala pa, miss.
Wala pa, but have you heard about the place?
Wala sad, miss.
Wala. But how do you see the place based on the picture?
Nice siya, miss.
But would you believe that it's in the Philippines?
Dili, miss.
Dili. So sa ato pa na makakuupos dire.
I've been there na, Miss. Ventura ni Miss. And
Yes.
Begapit, Toledo.
Yeah, and how is base comparing to what is being seen right now in the picture and your experience there? Is it the same?
Yes, Miss, but it's like if you would experience how to get there, it's kind of really dangerous.
Okay, why? Can you just elaborate why is it dangerous?
It's far, Miss, and you get uh you'll be like makaagi kag mga rocky roads, Miss, like that. And yeah, but in the picture it's really the reality it looks like, and everything is like the stones are, what do you call, the kind of mga bato katong yellow, Miss. And if it's raining, like lapok jud siya, Miss, but it's really nice view there, Miss.
So what mode of transportation did you take there?
Motor, Miss.
Motor. What's the reason
And
you went there for out of curiosity, visit?
yes, Miss.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, later on we can all those that is being mentioned about how she struggled going there, that all we will discuss later on in wait lang naghang lang. Okay. So yeah, another attraction in the region which is the now Sea of Clouds. So we have Lane, Galve. Wa- How about Cherry? Cherry? Huh. Or how about Escobedo?
Ani? Or diri, participants.
Yes, miss.
Yes, have you been to Danao,
Not
Sea of
yet,
Clouds?
miss.
Not yet, but you know where it is located.
Not yet also, miss. No, miss.
Okay, thank you. Danao Sea of Clouds is actually located in Bohol and also one of the attractions being mostly visited by the tourists in the area. And we also have the Niludhan Falls, which is in Bayawan. We have the Kanumantad Falls in Kandihay, Bohol. So it really looks nice. It really looks good. Even this Kadapdapan rice terraces. So imagine no sometimes even me before when I was still a student, all I could think of is ang Banawa rice terraces ra gyud ang naaaning kind of attraction or destination or slope. But yeah, we have a lot actually in the region. There's a lot of must see places. So including, of course, we have the Cebu Safari. I think most of you were able to visit this place, Myra. Were you able to visit already Cebu Safari? Not around. Do we have, how about Glasa?
Good evening, Miss. I haven't been to Cebu Safari, Miss.
But have you heard about the place?
Yes, Miss. I have heard about it.
Okay, what have you, can you share to us like just very short information you know about the place or you have heard about the place?
Before, Miss, katong wala pa'y pandemic, na-amaze ko atong ilahang murag na promo nga free lunch ba to, Miss? Kung mo-appeal ka sa katong murag katong na murag promo sa ilahang sa ilahang tourist destination. So ang Cebu Safari is consist of kanang animals nga dili na to makita diri sa Philippines. They had it para aware ang kanang para ma-showcase sa Cebu City or the Cebu province nga naapod tay ato ang zoo dili ra sa laing country, Miss.
Okay, thank you for that, Glasa. So
You're
well,
welcome.
yeah, you're correct, and there are also some, of course, species or animals in within the Cebu Safari that we can see that can also be found in the Philippines. I think so. Of course, we have Carnaza. Kinsa ba to niingon ganina nga nakaadtog Bantayan, Bantayan. Oh, sorry, this is Tan Bantayan. Carnaza Island. So especially sa inyo nga type of kanang or sa inyo nga mga kanang inana nga mga edad, no, a lot of you will be very interested to go to certain places like this. So we also have Bacalia Woods Campsite, San Fernando, and of course the Naga Broadwalk. Now we also have to determine what are our tourist preferences. So, of course, number one, most of our tourists would be interested in terms of apparel and garments. It will depend as to who are your markets or who are your tourists. Some would like to have or to buy or are interested for these leather goods, the arts and crafts, fashion accessories, food delicacies, and of course paper and paper goods. But mostly, out of all, based on experiences and most of the groups that I have been assisting for the past years, dili gyud ni mawala ang food delicacies. So, well, again, it all depends to your market. Also, the things that interest most the things that our tourists interest most, it also includes good climate, so it is number one consideration as well, and our warm hospitality and kindness of people. So I believe and I think all of you agree that Filipinos are very hospitable, but majority perhaps. And they would also would love to see beautiful sceneries, nice beaches, and good food, liquor, fruits. And also others like what we call as balikbayans would love to visit a certain destination or place because they would want to see their loved ones, friends, or relatives. But apart from that, of course, if there are things that the tourist would like or are looking after or are considering or part of their interest, there are also things that they do not like or they dislike or somehow they would want to avoid in a certain destination. So of course, number one is the heavy traffic. Number one reason, of course, it will be co- waste of time to be just on standby because of traffic. So a lot of time will be wasted. Widespread of poverty. So these are also either the dislike and the downside, of course, of we have the bad weather. So there's also water pollution and of course air pollution and poor airport facilities. So you might be asking, why am I talking all of these things, showing you a lot of attractions and explaining to you what are our tourist likes or what could be their dislikes? Because so that you will all eventually understand, as I explained to you, what are the 5 A's in tourism product development. So before you will have to manage a certain attraction or a certain product. Prior to that, there are certain assessments or what we also call as tourism product development, which is being done. And the question is, what are these 5 A's in tourism product development? Number one, of course, is product. This itself, we have to consider, is the product unique? Nindot baka ni, unique baka ni. So just like murag kanang inyuhang, like for example, we're referring to a product. Uh, for example, milk tea. So hala daghan na nagkuan, nanay nag-establish og milk tea, then daghan kayo ganahan og milk tea. So and then later on, daghan na pud kaayo ang nag-put up og bisag unsa na lang pud na milk tea. So how will you distinguish your own product that it will be unique from the rest? So you have to consider that one in, of course, developing a certain product or attraction. Second is it sellable? So what does it mean? So like for example, if imong product you live in a mountain areas, so remote area unya magkuan ka didto mamaligya ka og milk tea, do you think kanang magsige na sila palit sa imuhang milk tea, or is it appropriate to sell it there? So muna unya like for example, you also have to consider in all aspects, you also have to consider what are your target markets, who are your target markets. So isa sa na sa factor that you have to consider before in developing a certain product or attraction. So sellable ba siya? Like for example, if ang imuhang gibaligyaan are you're actually selling mga snorkeling gears, but ang naa dito nga area daghan nag-adto are mountaineers. So of course wala jud mamalit, 'di ba? So next is of course, is it ready for tourists? Mo to siya ang ganina no, I forgot her name, sorry, but she mentioned about the one in Toledo. So if she were, what was her name again, sorry, if she um sorry, I forgot her name, but she mentioned that naglisod daw siya, lisod dili pa kaayong maayo ang dalan. So perhaps if I am her, I could really say that it is not yet ready for tourists. Why? Number one, for a reason, it's because the second A's in product development is accessibility. So, which means, dili siya, sorry, which means that dili siya accessible, dili siya madali-dali og adto. So it even nag-struggle pa siya as she mentioned. So this is also an aspect or something that we have to consider also in developing a certain area or a certain project or a certain product. So, is the tourist site attraction accessible? So, mo na akong gingon, no nga, it has to be accessible. What if, for example, padung ka dito niya, along the way, di ay kay kanang, naapa kay bridge nga agian, but naguba ang bridge. So, that is part of the assessment. And the next is it safe for tourists? Now again, the number one good consideration for a tourist, even if you put yourself right now thinking about being a tourist right now, number one consideration is of course your safety. So you have to put yourself in the on the feet or on the side of the tourist if the product that you are developing is actually safe or not. So, like for example, you're going to promote a certain place nga grabe jud imong promotion. Well, there's no doubt that the place is really good, the place is really nice, service is really good. But of course, if on the side of it, nagsige pug gira dira nga area, well, technically, dili naa most of the tourists would not want to go there. So isa na sa inyong consideration ang ilahang safety. Next is it worth going to? Now, for example, muna to'y giingon ganina no sa nag-share sa ato one of your colleagues that pag adto niya grabe ang struggle, grabe ang pagpadulong sa destination or sa place. However, she mentioned that nice what you have seen in the photo is actually the same as what you can act as the actual scenery of the place. However, there are also some nga mula gina sometimes natay gitawagan ng expectation versus reality no, that there are some nga very good, there are good photos, good kanang promotion, maayo siya tan-awon sa picture. But like for example, ang falls, grabe kayo sa picture, nice good kay ang falls naman ko gi-flash ganina nga falls no. And then so with the social media different social media platforms right now that people are being informed of these places, ug ikaw nagtan-aw ana nga certain destination nga uy nindot ni mga tutaan ni, but pag adto niya gatulo-tulo ra di ay ang kuan, di ra gani makabasa or walay tubig. So these are one of the considerations, di ba? Kay is it worth going? Is it sa imuhang pagbiyahe, nahagard pa ka, gikapoy kag ayon, travel kag layo, nag-struggle pa ka only to visit, only para mo abot adto nga certain destinations at certain destination nga dili day gihapon nimo ma-enjoy. So though these are actually the second very important good na component when you develop a certain product. So activities, this is the third one. Are there activities in the site attraction that tourists can enjoy or do? Of course, most people would look forward aside from the kanang picture ana, they would also be interested from other activities, especially if it involves family and friends. They would want this could be somehow a form of bonding that they could enjoy among themselves or together. Then what is the role of the community? Well, the local community is very important in a certain area where you develop a certain attraction or product. Why? Because they are the people who are actually there. They are the people who knows the story, who takes care actually of the. They have to be involved because they have to know how to take care also of the area. They have to understand um, the whole concept of the place, like the attraction, how to take care of it, what's the reason behind it. So um that is basically dako ni siya og role ang local community. Now, are the local community involved in these activities? yes, of course, they have to. Muna siya akong na-mention na diha na din na musulod ang right after nimo siya ma-create ang product no or a certain attraction or sites. Once it is the site is readily available is being established, then diha na mo jump inside ang mga capacity building where we also help from there is an intervention from the LGU and with the help also of the DOT and other agencies to help capacitate train our local community. So muna sila. And then, fourth is amenities and facilities. So, what are the services that are offered to the tourist or site attraction? Number one, is there any souvenir shops? And what are other offerings that may be available for the tourists whenever they visit? And lastly, you also have to assess if there are certain readily available accommodations, or is there still a need for to put up certain accommodation, especially if the destination or attraction is very far from kung asa ang turista probably magikan, or it's a remote area. So pwede ba magkampi, you could bring your tents, or so what are the type of accommodation offered? So these are also being considered. Is it a near to the site or attraction? And is there any catering services in the area? Siyempre, if wala, layo kaayo sa kanang kabihasnan, no, there is attraction, but you have to make sure also if food is available for them to order, especially if they are staying mga long stay sila. So again, those are the five A's that you have to consider in product development before an attraction is so muna siya ang agian, no, because before you manage a certain attraction, these are the things that people assess or people do in order to develop this attraction. So in managing an attraction, it is also important that you know what um asa where it started, or you have to understand the people also behind it, especially katong sa community. So you have to be aware of all those things. So after assessment, normally it depends upon the agencies being involved, but with DOT we do assessments, like for example if it's about katong mga carrying capacity or um mga caving, so we also invite DENR. So we do certain assessment in certain area with considerations, of course, to the to what was discussed as 5As. Then later on, with the help of course of the LGU, kay number one dapat ang LGU said is tourism oriented, and they are willing to develop the certain place. So before dayon na sila na din na sila na actually ang mag-manage, whether it's a private entity or it's a government entity. So diha na musulod ang pag-manage sa isa ka attraction. So of course there are also we also encounter certain problems in tourism product development. So number one, overcrowding. So muna na siya akong gi-mention ganina nga, we have to consider also carrying capacity, because even how good, how nice a certain destination or a certain product is, if inani sad ang imuhang maadtuan, ganahan pa baka mong maligo or ganahan pa baka mo moadto. So I think one of the examples that we could also cite is what happened in Boracay. Fortunately for those nga katong nakaadto na nakabalik na sa Boracay, somehow they were able na to slowly recover. Okay, it was closed for around 6 months to rehabilitate the area. Second is overdevelopment. So nagsigirag put up with all the arrivals getting kanang, we're not considering on how we actually manage our kanang mga waste disposal, so it could be a problem also. Next is educating the local community. So nganong problema man siya because muna siya as I've mentioned earlier that we need to educate the locals. We need to let them understand. We need to train them as to the specifics og unsa man gani ang atong gi-develop sa certain area. So mao na siya. Yeah, like I've said, kami sa DOT we have this TIS, what we call as TISP, or the Tourism Industry Skills Training, where we conduct trainings to our stakeholders. So we capacitate them, we train them by the help also of our mga invited na mga trainers identified by the department. And lastly is the sense of kanang ownership and responsibility, because what happened sometimes is when a certain attraction or product or area mag mo develop siya, some people would probably leave their what was being accustomed sa ilaha or ang ilahang kultura. Like for example in the picture, so since daghan na kay turista oy nadato na nindot na kay mga balay, then mawagtang na ang kanang, as much as possible we want to preserve this kind of kanang kultura nato, unique nga mga practices also in in our country. So mo lang po na siya ang challenge. Kay of course with the tourists also coming in and out, some of them would also what do you call this, ilahang probably naa sila yung matudlo or what, or that could be adapted or ma-adapt sa certain area. So just to share with you also the community-led tourist sites in Central Visayas. So mauni sila ang mga destinations which we were also involved in training the local community. So mostly eco guiding. So the Pamilacan Island dolphin watching in Bohol, Olango Island. We also have Apo Island protected landscape. So as mentioned, this is in Negros Oriental. So again, of course, after product development, we do the attractions management, but we don't stop from there. We don't stop only to managing and um, this certain area. Of course, part of the management is, of course, the goal is for us to be able to sustain the certain product or a certain attraction. So with the United Nations World Tourism Organization, to quote that achieving sustainable tourism is a continuous process and it requires constant monitoring of impacts, introducing the necessary preventive and corrective measures whenever necessary. So dira na no based on how you manage the certain area or product or destination. So I guess that is to wrap up the whole concept of the topic, which is attractions management, and I've leveled it up into a subtopic which is more on where you start from it, like the product, focus more on the product development, and of course towards managing an attraction. Basically most of the management of attractions, since we are in the national, we are governed by the national office. So mostly said ang kaning mga attractions na to know are being managed. It depends, because if it's a private sector, it is being managed by a certain by the owner or perhaps the private sector, and then for mga community based na mga sites or tourism, these are managed by our local government units. So of course with all other mga possible nga pwede ma-extend sa DOT. DOT also intervenes in terms of mga if there is a if it's necessary or if the LGU or the private sector would call upon us also. So I would also want to take this opportunity, everyone, as mentioned, to plug probably nagkuan na siya na nag-plug. But just to share with you everyone, probably your friends, you have elder brothers or sisters or who are also very interested or curious about experiencing how to dive, how to experience or you want to experience the underwater world, we have launched, as I mentioned earlier, we have actually launched the dive. It's the first Dive 7 Summer Festivals, which is in collaboration with our local government units, the provincial government unit, our private stakeholders from different destination from respective destination of and then our partners from other government sectors and private sectors. So there are a total of we have five, including six Sikihor for the cleanup. So again, we have Moalboal as the first leg, which will be this week already. That's April 23 to 25. We have Malapascua, which is on, I know, next is Panglao, May 4 to 9. And we have Malapascua from May 14 to 16. And then we also have Dawin from May 21 to 23. And lastly, in Mactan, which is June 4 to 6. So for those who wants to experience diving underwater and who wants to avail the free free fun diving experience, then be the first one to register, because the first seven registrants or participants will be able to get a free fun dive experience with us each destinations na siya. And if you have siblings like 8 years old and above, we also offer a free bubble maker for kids for the first seven per destination. So no registration, it's actually free. And yeah, you just need to contact and the page, wala na ako siya na post diri, but it's the page is the first summer dive event. So I think that's all, and thank you, and I hope you really learned something from my talk, and I would be happy to answer all of your questions. So Mark, thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Do, for your intelligent and thought-provoking words. I really couldn't think of a better speaker than her. Wouldn't you say so, partner?
Definitely, definitely, partner. As a fellow tourism student, I felt like I was really educated, and it made me realize that I still have a lot to learn from this particular field. Now, before we proceed to the open forum, let us first have a short break by watching this short video, which is related to today's topic.
Cebu is the center of commerce and trade in the region. It is often referred to as the Island of Festivals, having more than 40 feasts a year. The grandest and most popular is the Sinulog Festival, which is celebrated every Sunday in January in honor of Señor Santo Niño de Cebu. Cebu City has been dubbed as the cradle of Christianity in the Far East, Evident is the Magellan's Cross, planted in the city as a symbol of natives embracing the Christian faith. Cebu is also renowned as a marine paradise with its ideal dive sites such as Moalboal, Mactan, Camotes, Bantayan, and Malapascua Islands. Going east from Cebu is Bohol, the home of the famous chocolate hills in Carmen and the Philippine Tertiary in Corelia. The island province is popularly known as an ecotourism haven of Central Visayas. Tourists get sun-kissed in the endless shores of Panglao Island and Anda, while divers love to explore the rich marine ecosystem in Balikasag and Pamilacan Islands. At the eastern side of Central Visayas is the province of Negros Oriental. Breathe the scholarly airs of the university town in Dumaguete. Play with the dolphins in Bae City. And swim with various marine species in Apu Island and Mantalip Reef in Bindoy. Discover yourself in the serenity of Balinsasayo Twin Lakes in Sibulan. Or feel the rush while taking a plunge in the cold waters of Pulangbatu Falls and Casaroro Falls. Located at the southern part of Central Visayas is the healing island of Siquijor. Be enchanted with the island's mystic allure and folklore traditions, particularly the Bolo Bolo folk healing rituals in Larena. Fall in love with the province for its unspoiled nature in Cambugahay Falls in Lazi and Salagdoong Beach in Maria. Appreciate solitude in a countryside living in the town of Siquijor. On top of them all, feel the warmth and friendliness of the locals in the 4 provinces in Central Visayas. Discover a new home that will make you keep coming back for more. Central Visayas is truly gifted with countless destinations of untouched nature. Indeed, it's more fun in the Philippines.
Wow, that was such an eye-opening video. Wouldn't you say so, partner?
I definitely want more, Erich. I really wish I could go to all those places in Region 7 now.
Indeed. For this juncture, we will now proceed to the open forum, which will be moderated by Miss Leanne Boadilla. Miss Do will also be here to answer the questions from our viewers.
Good evening, everyone. We will now start our open forum. You may write your queries in the chat box. Remember to only ask questions related to the topic and please be respectful. Thank you. If you have any questions, please unmute your microphone and address your question to Ms. Do. Anyone from the audience?
If wala daw mag-ask, kaya ako yung mag-ask. Graded daw.
Hello. I have a question.
Yes, Lay.
My question is, since it's the COVID-19 pandemic, how can you encourage students or tourists to travel?
Well, right now, what is really very important is for us to really be we have to, well, travel right now is not really some of the tourism, especially here in Cebu, has tourism sites has already been open. So us in the department, we make sure that especially these mga accommodation establishments are actually following the health and safety guidelines. So we have to strictly follow, especially not only these establishments, kaning mga certain attractions that you are going to visit, but of course, us as personally, kita mismo as travelers, we have to be a responsible traveler. So um, we have to follow the health and safety protocol. So of course, basic, we have to wear our masks and put our shields and always bring with you your sanitizer or alcohol. And muna siya basically that's what we have to do. So and of course apply social distancing. Did I answer you, Lay?
Thank you so much, Miss.
Yeah.
Miss, I have a question.
Yes. The same yeah, different lane, no?
Yes, Miss. Is Central Visayas prepared to welcome tourists amid the pandemic?
Well, actually, it all boils down as if you are actually what do you call this watching the news, if you are updated to current events, then most of the decisions that being followed is actually it all boils down to the local government unit. But sorry, the question was again, Lay. No, ako. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Miss. It was about the readiness of Central Visayas to receive tourists.
Yeah. Yeah, so moto siya akong giingon, no. It all boils down also with our local government units. With the governors, of course, confidence that they have initially opened some of the attractions, then we are confident and we trust their their decisions about it. Of course, making sure because they would not be informing the whole country that they have opened without, of course, the health and safety protocols or guidelines being in place in a certain destination. So, yeah.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Miss. I have a question.
Yes, Ashel, how do I?
You shall, Miss.
Okay,
What do you think motivates people to travel or visit the Central Visayas?
sorry. What?
What do you think motivates people to travel or visit to Central Visayas?
Okay. What really putting myself into that perspective, what really for me, if I put myself as a tourist and looking forward to Central Visayas is um the place itself, the Central Visayas itself. Why? Because Central Visayas, if you really see the whole kanang map of you, or if you have read informations or based on the video that is being presented, almost all, or yeah, I believe all of the tourism product portfolios can be found in Central Visayas region. So, in fact, we have the second gateway in the Philippines. So we have a lot of international flights coming in and out of the country. Of course, that is pre-pandemic. So there are a lot in terms of accessibility na ata diri sa Central Visayas sa region, and who would 'di ba, from the airport pila ra ka minutes you can already go and see and experience mga white sand beach. And who would imagine nga a certain city, especially kaning ato ang mga kaning um sa ibabaw kaning sa Busay area nga, there are certain there we have a lot of kanang mga destinations nga up in the mountains that are still part of the city. So all of this actually amazes. And in fact, even me personally would really want to look forward, or would really want to go and visit Central Visayas. So even as far as Sikihor, because Sikihor is really blessed, especially in terms of kanang sa tawag ani white sand beach. So, and even they're unique kaning, they're very known of their mga kanang sa love potion. But personally, I didn't use any love potion ha. So but these are the things that actually interest me, or probably the tourist or other of course students like you, kay putting myself also when I was in college during um of the same year sa inyuhan, no, it basta beach or anything nga kanang magkakuan mi sa akong mga friends or classmates, then we definitely go. Or unsa man gani among madunggan nga nice nga. So muna dira it helps actually, especially right now with all this mga promotions. So yeah.
Thank you, Miss.
I have a question, Miss.
Yes, Julia.
Okay, what advice or recommendations would you give to all tourists planning to visit Central Visayas?
Are you referring to the pre-pandemic or right now
Yes,
with
Miss,
the
the
current state?
pre-pandemic. Yes, Miss.
Pre-pandemic. So
Yes,
what
Miss.
is it again? You're asking if what advice for I could give for travelers visiting Central Visayas.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Um well, as any travelers would be, even with other destinations, number one is of course presence of mind when of course you travel. We're not saying that Cebu or Central Visayas is not safe, but of course as a responsible traveler, you have to make sure that muhang mga belongings or what, you really keep an eye on it. So, but not to the sense nga magsige na lang pud mugtan-aw sa inyo ha, or bantay sa inyong mga gamit nga dili na ninyo ma-enjoy ang certain attraction. So, second is um you there are a lot if you are into budgetary ang inyong kanang budgetary constraint or limited ang inyong resources, then there are actually a lot of readily available that caters to the probably the budget that you have for your travel. So before you travel, you have to search first, you have to know first the area, the place that you are going to travel. So just for example, although we're talking about Central Visayas, so just for example, if you go to a certain country, you have to know what are their kanang culture or their rules, or para at least ikaw mismo before you arrive to a certain destination, you know what you are doing, you know what you're going to do, and you are aware nganong inana ang patakaran sa certain area. So yeah, those are the things that probably we would be advising to our travelers. And of course as part of kanan the DOT, putting myself as back as a DOT personnel, we always advise them to really engage with our DOT accredited na mga establishments and engage with our DOT accredited na mga tour guides, because somehow this would make them feel nga at ease ba, or because these are being trained, these are being inspected by our personnel. Because us in the DOT, we have mindset our accreditation division who actually um, checks or inspects mga establishments in terms of implementing certain standards. So, muna na siya. Para dili sad mo mailad or unsa ba. Kay others no, because tungod kay barato kaayo didto na lang unya. Of course, ma-compromise na ang imuhang safety. That alone will be ma-compromise ang imuhang safety. So, thank you for
Oh,
your question, Julia.
okay, Mr. Villaban, do you have a question?
Yes, good evening, Miss. Good evening, everyone. So, question ako, Miss, is as what you have mentioned earlier about the 5 A's, Miss, is
Hi,
the ease of
Vance.
communication
Mm-mm.
also a need to be given attention when a certain attraction will try to operate, Miss?
Yes, thank you. That's actually a very good question, Vince, no. Um well, we can muna siya ang kuan sad no, ang in terms of masud na siya in terms of the accessibility. So diha na to mabutang, that is a very important kuan sad what do you call this, component or aspect that we need to consider. And thank you for taking that up, because with today's kuan no kanang generation or karon na panahon, people are really into social media, into communication. So even most people dili naman gani halos makabuhi sa ilahang kanang cellphones, or murag kulang ilang adlaw og dili sila ka-update. So that is really a primary concern, and that should also be considered in the product development. So thank you for that, Vince. That's actually a very good input.
Thank you, Miss.
Last, anyone from the audience? I think that was the end of our Q&A session. Thank you very much,
And
Ms.
then
Do, for
yeah,
generously providing us the answer to all our questions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a big round of applause for our guest speaker, Ms. Loris Do. I'd like to turn you over to our MCs, Ms. Erich Abi and Eve Marie Fernandez.
yeah. And before anything also from our host Nod, if you could, I think I will just communicate with Mark, who has been communicating to me. For those people who answered me first kanina when I asked, I think that was Vance, and the first person who relayed her question, I think that's Marie Lay, if
Yes,
I'm correct.
yes,
Yeah,
miss.
yeah, so I will just coordinate with Mark, and I don't know when, but how I could give you a token, but I'll just probably talk to Mark as to how we can send you the token. So probably I'll just ask the number, and we will have it sent to you. So again, thank you so much for your participation and cooperation.
As a sign of appreciation for her time and expertise with us, we would like to request Mr. Mark Alinrio to present the certificate of appreciation and token to Ms. Do.
Evening, Miss Do. I personally would like to thank you for being able to be our guest speaker today. We would, with this We would like to reward you with a certification of appreciation as our sign of thanks. The University of San Jose Recoletos School of Business and Management, Tourism and Hospitality Management Department presents this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Clarice Glenn Talito Do for sharing her time and expertise on the topic Attractions Management in Central Visayas region, given this 20th day of April 2021 via Zoom. Well, signed by Mrs. Grace M. Lacson, MMBM, Seminar Advisor, Mr. Rio Wayamuta, MBA, Chairperson, Tourism and Hospitality Management Department, and Dr. Edgar Arditoya, CPA, Dean, School of Business and Management. A round of applause, please.
Before we end our program, may I request Mr. Mark Allen Rio, the seminar coordinator, for the closing remarks.
So, good evening, everyone. It's been a very pleasant evening, and now we have finally reached the end of our seminar. Before we end this evening's program, I want us to give a round of applause to the wonderful talents being performed, and especially to our guest speaker, Ms. Clarice Tolitoldo, who has done an exceptional job today, giving us her time and presence, sharing with us her knowledge, expertise, and experience about the topic attractions management in Central Visayas region. We'd also like to thank our MCs, our staff, and our operators tonight for doing a good job. So once again, let's give a round of applause for them. This program would not have been possible without them and their efforts. We hope that we motivated you in today's seminar. Above all else, we would like to thank our invited tourism professor, Mr. Kim Cantero, and his classes. We would also like to thank our seminar advisor, Mrs. Grace Lacson, for the assistance that she gave us. To the organizing committee members who have contributed a great deal of themselves in one way or another to make this webinar a success. With utmost gratitude, I say thank you and congratulations to us all. We, the tourism students, will be able to share the joy of knowing that in tonight's program, our experience from it will be of good use when future activities will come and we'll be able to apply the things that we have learned throughout the seminar. Undoubtedly, all of us will leave this room with our knowledge more broadened than ever before. Once again, thank you and adelante.
A great thanks to everyone in this event who gave their gracious participation and wholehearted attention. Well, this has been a fun and educational ride, don't you think, partner?
Indeed, partner. I'm glad I had a chance to be a part of this awesome event. It was simply outstanding.
Marvelous. This has been your MCs. My name is Erin Chushel Abiabi.
And I'm Eve Fernandez.
Wishing you a safe
and wonderful evening.
Lastly, can I request everyone if we can have like a group photo, if it's Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Before we all bid goodbyes, can we all have like a group photo?
Okay. May I request everyone to turn on their cams so that we can take a picture. Okay.
Okay, I will also take from my end. Yeah, just waiting for some of you. All right, so 1, 2, 3, smile.
Smile.
Okay, hold on. I think there are 4.
Yeah.
Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, that's the second one. So next, last one. 1, 2, 3, smile. Sorry, that's we still have another one. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, thank you again. Thank you everyone, and hope you really did learn something from this talk. Thank you, Mark, and the rest of the team. Miss Grace and to Sir Kim, thank you also for inviting me.
Thank you, Mom.
Today, I woke up below the surface. Where I learned to face my fears and go with the flow. But it's when I came to appreciate the big and the small. Made new friends from all over and could no longer hide my true colors. That I knew I'd emerged a local.
Makalibay, no?